Thank you for all for joining today. Okay, now we reached 100 people. I hope you all can see me. You don't necessarily need to watch me, but most important is you're seeing the presentation on the screen, what I'm about to present today. I will go over the UBioX Iris and the Pro 2 one more time very quickly, but the main purpose of this webinar is to introduce you to our new UBioX facial product and also the thermal solutions that we are offering right now. So without further ado, I'm going to get started. First of all, just welcome you all to the UBio Contactless Temperature Solution webinar. Here's the agenda for today, and if you want, you can turn on the captions below on your browser and you can actually see what I am saying to you. If you're having difficult following with my voice. We're going to go over the UBioX Face, Pro 2 and Iris, quickly cover again, and some sales features and advantages, and also some thermal detection technology with the thermal camera solution we currently have and the thermal module that we've just introduced. And then I'm going to show you some demonstration videos and then give you a quick update on the UBio Alpeta platform and see how that's going. So first of all, I want to cover the facial products because this is going to get a little bit confusing, so I tried to separate it a little bit easy for you to follow with the facial products and the Iris products. So in the facial products, we are introducing the UBioX Face. Now, this is new to us also because it is a face-only product. We're not having any fingerprint on it. It'll have face and also card access and password. Along with the facial products, the UBioX Pro 2, which is also new. Now, don't forget also the UBioX Pro and Pro Lite. We introduced that at the beginning of this year, but these are two new technologies with the X-Face and the Pro 2 with the visible light technology, and they use the same technology together, you can see. And along, we have the Iris solution. Now, please remember the Iris is a totally different form of biometric technology using the Iris, not the face. So consider this as a totally new, different solution altogether. And with that, we have thermal solutions of these three products, and we have the thermal module for the UBioX Face. And the UBioX Pro, we also have the thermal module. And as well, we have introduced a couple months before the thermal camera with the UBioX Pro 2. And with the Iris, we're also introducing the thermal module. We'll cover a little bit of detail about that in a few minutes. The next slide, I want to talk about the roadmap and what we've been working on this year since the COVID situation and what we're trying to cover up for and give you some solutions for contactless. So what we have is the Pro 2, which we introduced in June. And then just about a month later, we had the Pro 2 with the thermal camera that we released. And at the same time, we released that in July, which was the Iris solution. We've had a few samples delivered to customers now, but we'd like to see a little bit more tested and given out. So please take a look in detail about the Iris solution. Then now, October, wow, that's now. We're going to introduce that actually this week. This is going to be released. And please talk to your salespeople about getting samples that you can order right now. We have a limited amount of samples for the UBioX Face currently. And then, we say November, the thermal module solution is going to be at the beginning of November. We do have samples also in middle of October, but limited samples. So please note that. That's what we've been working on this last year for the contactless solutions, and that's why we've been busy. Some of your requests and customizations with Alpeta, and that is a little bit difficult to get it all in place right now because we've been following up on that. I just noticed a quick question. What is the difference between thermal camera and thermal module? I'm going to cover that as a couple slides down, so please be patient. First, I want to talk about the new terminal, the UBioX face. Now, the UBioX face, the main difference between the other terminals is the IP65, the dust and waterproof protection. Also, the authentication method I want to mention clearly is face and card or password PIN. Please remember this is different from previous products as there is no fingerprint involved with this. And just as a Pro 2 is we have a 1-to-N and a 1-to-1 of maximum facial users of 20,000. And the remaining features, functions of this product are pretty much similar basic functions of our other readers. You got your standard images, log files, communication ports, then you got your card readers. The card readers will be separate SKUs, so when you order this product, you have to order UBioX Face MyFair or UBioX Face RF version. We will be supporting the HID Prox and HID iClass as optional as well. So please remember they're not built in all into one, they are separate products. And of course the embedded camera that will take a picture of the transactions, and you got your soft key touchscreen keypad, and then the FAR with the face on it. And with the face, I want to just talk about quickly some of the key points or key advantages with the UBioX face. And you're going to see a lot of similarities with the UBioX Pro as well. Of course, you got the fast capture at a long distance. So up to 3 meters, we're calling it, and some people refer to as a walkthrough type authentication. Easy face authentication. So as you've seen on previous products or other products, you have to put your face in a particular area to get it authenticated. But on this product, once you're in the general area of the screen, your face will be authenticated almost immediately. One important feature these days is the mask detection function. So you can have that function. I'll talk about it a little bit later, how that works with the Pro 2 and the facial products with the mask detection. Liveliness detection, that's another important feature that people will ask for, and that is just making sure that standard picture will not work, or 3D face will not work on the terminal. I will show you some video after about that. And easy face registration. And I'm going to reiterate from the Pro and UBioX Pro and Pro Lite products. As you know, that uses IR technology, and it does require you to register your face at those particular products. And the UBioX Face and UBioX Pro, they use the visible light technology. Visible light is what you're seeing right now, just standard red, green, blue, normal lighting conditions. So that's what makes it different, is that you can use a standard picture for registration there. Then we have the thermal option. So the thermal option or thermal sensor will be another option for the UBioX Face. Let me just talk about the iris quickly. I did cover this on webinar 3 presentation, but some of you are new to this webinar, so I'll cover it right now again. As you know, the iris can cover up to 40,000 1-to-N. And the number of users for iris is 20,000. The number of fingerprints is 40,000 1-to-N. And one key point you should notice about the fingerprint support in the iris is we have the FBI PIV FAP20 certified sensor in there. We're using our new NScan FM sensor for fingerprint. So remember that as a key point for the UBioX Iris, not just Iris, but also you have the multimodal for the fingerprint authentication. One thing I should mention about the Iris is when you're registering, sorry, I'm getting a lot of pop-ups at the same time and it's getting distracting. The Iris, 2 eyes are enrolled and each eye requires 2 templates. When you're authenticating, you're just using 1 eye during the authentication process. We have 2 cameras in the Iris. One camera is a 5 megapixel camera that's used for the actual capture of the iris, and the other is a standard 2 megapixel camera that we use for the face detection and taking a normal picture. The facial detection is required for capturing the face and making sure that the face is aligned for the iris capturing technique. So I think we talked enough about the iris. I'll just go over the key advantages. Of course, I told you before it was the multimodal function. You have the iris fingerprint card or pin that you can use in a multimodal or combination function. Another important feature that people like is the auto tilt function that we introduced again in the iris. We had that previously in another product, but we introduced it again for the iris. The auto tilt is good for height adjustment on the iris. When we're talking about the other points there, the masks, hijab, niqab, niqab, that is good for the mask detection function. I'll cover that after. Eyeglass support, of course, that is supported when using iris. I mean, probably 30–40% of people use eyeglasses, so that has to be supported. It's just recommended when your enrollment time that one of the templates is enrolled with the glasses on, so that'll be better. And another key feature is quick capturing at a comfortable distance. What you see with other iris devices, that it does require you to be, or your head to be aligned in a certain area and lined up to be authenticated, where ours is at least a 50-centimeter distance and comfortably, and you don't have to keep your eyes open. Your eyes are watering or tearing from trying to get the right location. Our capture method is pretty good at capturing instantly without having to worry to align your eyes in the right location. It'll guide you in the process during that period. Key features of the facial devices and the mask detection features, which are very important for you to know about when you're setting up your system. Some of the facial features on the Pro 2 and the UBioX Face is the distance setting. As you know, we can detect up to 3 meters maximum for the face, but sometimes that can be adjusted or can be annoying for detecting a too long of a distance. So there's some feature that you can adjust that down to, I think, at least 1 meter. And it has a function to disable multi-face detection. So when it gets a little bit too busy around the facial detection area, you're going to see a lot of people get authenticated or being interrupted with the normal authentication process. This might be good for walkthrough type methods that you want to disable multi-face detection. And then there's another option, ignoring unregistered users. This is a little bit related to the multi-face detection, but when you're ignoring unregistered users, sometimes if the user's not registered, the camera will be focused on those people that are on the screen. So you don't want that all the time. So this is a good feature to have when you just want to focus on the registered users on the device. Okay, now mask detection on Pro 2 and UBioX Face. Now there's an option to enable the mask detection, and I will show a video about that later, how that works. But of course, the mask on will give you a passing function, but if the mask is on partially. So for example, you don't cover your nose and you have your mask on. You take a look at my image, my video. If you have it like that, it will not allow you to pass. And then, of course, if the mask is off, you will also not be able to pass. You have a fail and warning message at that time. This is only a local annunciation at the device itself, at the Pro 2 and X face. It will not deny your access, just like a normal access granted or access denied. So that's how the mask function works. And we do have a mask detection function on Iris. Now, when I speak about mask detection functions, if you can imagine the iris, you're looking at the eyes only, so the masks should not be in the way of the detection. It's not, as I said, there's two cameras. One of the cameras is for detecting the face, and with a mask on, it can be distracting to detecting the face sometimes. So we developed an algorithm to detect for face masks, or if people are wearing a hijab, that your eyes are only the part that are exposed, niqab, or even face shields. So that's important, that those people can continue wearing those items without having to worry about not being detected on the iris device. So here we have a demonstration with the thermal module on our UBioX Pro 2 system. I think you can see this now on the system. It should be working, should be seeing it. And we're showing the video with using a picture image and how it does not detect if a picture is detected. As you can see, the face is not being detected at all during that period of time. And also some same demonstration on the UBioX Pro 2 with the thermal camera with normal face detected, showing the temperature on the screen. And then an actual picture image trying to authenticate at that time. Of course, it's not going to be detected at that time. Let me skip ahead to another video in the presentation. Okay, I think you should see this demonstration video now for the UBioX facial device. As you can see, it's similar to the Pro 2 where we can go up to 3 meters for recognition on it. So you're seeing it now. This is our first video for the UBioX face, and it's just a demonstration video. As you can see, it also has a mask detection function with a mask when it's not being worn at that time. I'll just show it again. And there you can see also the stand on that. I'll rewind the video again so we can go through it again, because this is the facial one, UBioX face. So there you have it on the, showing it on the stand, and the UBioX face authentication at a distance of more than up to 3 meters. And also we do have the mask detection function that does not allow access with a mask, without a mask. And this video, we'll share it again later in the presentation file later. And let me share another video. You're going to see a video displayed now with the UBioX iris, and I do have my mask on when I'm authenticating at that time. And right beside her I have our UBioX Pro 2 as well. But this is meant for showing you with the UBioX iris detecting with a mask on. Just since I had it beside me, I'll show you with a mask on the UBioX Pro 2. And I have another video of the iris and mask detection function, but you don't need to see that right now. We'll work that out. And I want to thank you all for attending today.